Good evening, and welcome back. Finally, 2 missed weekends later, we're back with weekend streams. Welcome, Aleph. Welcome, Odd. That's a beautiful lyrical collaboration happening in chat. Okay, yes. Welcome, everyone, back to Homestuck Epilogues streams. So, last we left off, at least it was a decent place to take a little break, we had just finished meat, which means today we are starting candy, and I am fucking bracing myself for having to reread this, quite frankly. I much preferred the meat route over candy, because it was definitely, there were a lot of parts that made me angry and that were difficult to read, but candy specifically has not just like parts that like make me emotional in a variety of ways, but that make me like viscerally uncomfortable. Yeah. like there's certain parts where that discomfort is supposed to be like hilarious, like Gamzee's funeral speech when he gets up on stage, but like I couldn't find it funny. It just like there's just like a deep-seated discomfort with that, and with a number of situations with candy. I mean, now that I'm, taking a second to think, what other ones can I pinpoint? Most of them involve Gamzee, which, and no one is surprised, but, whew, yeah. So, that's a thing. Yeah, so there may or may not be a couple of parts that I elect to just not read out loud and maybe just talk a little bit about. Did it make me viscerally uncomfortable? Definitely. There were definitely, in particular, I don't even remember exactly what happens in this, like the exact language that they use, but that full length chapter conversation between Vriska and Gamzee, I felt like I was physically fighting myself to keep reading. It was fucking hard, and I did not like it one bit. So may or may not. Oh, good for the viscerally uncomfortable. You know what? During that chapter, I was viscerally uncomfortable because yes, there was Vriska, and there was also Gamzee. And that whole, boy, I don't, No, yes, that was good wordplay. Thank you, Aleph. Okay. So, have some water. Okay. Yeah. It's been... I can't believe it's already Friday. I cannot believe, it feels like I only just finished the fucking Dream Daddy stream. Time, just stops existing in the summer, especially right now when I'm not in school and I'm waiting for my summer job to start, so I don't really... It's just kind of me sitting in my house playing video games and watching endless hours of pointless YouTube videos and sometimes going on Twitter. So, yeah, time is weird, but what else is new? Sorted Spectacle, welcome. sweet taste of toast. Jesus Christ, Olive. No, I can think of another thing that Gamzee has a particular sweet taste for in candy, but I cannot even make the words escape my mouth. Part 3 where John eats the whole goddamn picnic basket. Yeah, it would be interesting to see how that would go. Or I've seen, or of course there's people who are predicting like the vegetables ending as the third ending, or pumpkin specifically. It's 8th ending. Vriska jumps in and grabs John by his shirt and throws him into the sun. Milk? Well, yes, but a very specific kind of milk. That whole joke is another. Anytime it's mentioned like in explicit terms, is another one of those things that just. Boy. VeggieTales ending. He just eats Calliope. Absolutely. Okay. So I got this open here. Oh boy, here we go. Okay, I'm gonna have one last drink of water and then I'll start reading. Tomato and a cucumber come down from another universe and sing about God. You know, I didn't realize that VeggieTales was a Catholic show until I read it somewhere online when I was like 15 or 16. Because I remember every once in a while, I'm like, okay, no. There were like, I think 2 or 3 times when I was in elementary school where teachers did not have anything to do with us. So they sat us on the floor in an empty classroom and put on a DVD or cassette tape even, maybe, of VeggieTales on like TV in the cart. And like I went to a Catholic school, so this makes sense. But I did not realize that it was supposed to be religious until many years later. To continue that thought, a tomato and a cucumber come down from another multiverse and sing about God. Alternatively, Earth-C VeggieTales singing about the Alpha Kids and the Beta Kids and the Trolls. Because, I mean, that whole conversation between Vriska and Vriska, like, it's specifically mentioned, she's like, you know, like, I know some lore, and, you know, they talk about the history of the group as a part of Earthsea's, like, culture. It's kind of the impression that I got. So, like, I'm just, like, now that image is in my head, and I'm enjoying that. I'm on board with that. Best of meat and candy. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they kind of pick the best parts out. It's time to meet my dad. Oh god. Yeah, the TV cart. The TV and the cart. Those are still a thing in schools, right? Honestly, I don't fucking know. Like, do kids these days have to, like, make PowerPoint presentations for school, like in elementary school? Because I just, like, I never had to make a PowerPoint presentation for school until I got to, like, 9th grade. But then there's that one post that always makes me double take, this fucking Tumblr post that's, like, a meme about, you know, feeling like an extra talented graphic designer hacker if you use for using like a PowerPoint slide transition in 3rd grade. And I was like, wait a second, 3rd grade? What? You just, I know, I miss them here too. Real ending is the 17th ending where after John kills Lord English, the G-Man appears and puts him in stasis so he can fight the Combine in post-apocalyptic Earthsea. Mayor died of radiation poisoning. Oh, well. That, now that I think about it, that's a distinct possibility. Please be Catholic girls and hear the Rumor Weed song again? I'm sorry, what the fuck is the Rumor Weed song? Now they got projectors now? Yeah, see, like, I was, you know, in, like, 8th grade still using the fucking, why can't I remember what they're called now? Like, the ones where you use the clear plastic sheets and it, like, uses lights and mirrors and shit to project it onto the wall. And it's, like, not connected to a computer. You are not immune to radiation poisoning. Oh, God. Fucking, it just makes me think of that fucking article that, I didn't read this, okay? I just saw headlines and I was like, you know what? This is too much for me and I'm just not putting myself through this today. It was an article about people going to the site of Chernobyl, like Instagram models, and like taking Instagram pictures of the fucking Chernobyl. On Blake's behalf request, I look up the Rumor Weed song for break. Okay. I will find it at break time. You are not immune to Friska. Actually, I like to proudly proclaim that I am immune to Friska, and she has very little characteristic appeal to me. But anyway, I've already kind of named my gripes on that front. I won't bore you all. Summer is at its height tonight. Will be the shortest of the year. That is true. Today is summer solstice, aka, oh, I know this. I believe it is Litha in Wicca. I believe that is the correct name. Actually, I can double check that very quickly. But yeah, it is indeed the shortest night of the year. Very exciting. It also happens to be, this weekend is Toronto Pride, so that is neat. Tonight was the Trans March, which I did not go to, but tomorrow, I will be around. And that's about the extent of the detail that I'm willing to disclose here. But yeah, this is Toronto Pride weekend. Where's that post? I saw somebody post it. Trying to find a thing. There it is. It is Litha. Yes, I remembered correctly. So yes, happy Litha if we have any Wiccan listeners. Aleph, I feel like you're listening off song lyrics, but I do not know where from. Okay. Okay, it's been 15 minutes, and God, we do this every fucking time. Okay. Let's actually get started on the story. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's a link to that track. Cool, cool. Okay. Candy. 1. Candy was definitely the right choice, John thinks, as he munches thoughtfully on a strawberry swirl mint. It cracks to splinters between his teeth. incredibly tasty splinters, the consistency of which have absolutely no existential baggage to them. The splinters dissolve quickly, leaving behind the impression that they were made of nothing at all, but for a cloying essence determined to linger behind. With some distance from his traumatic anime dreaming, the fatalistic mood that he's been walking around with all day seems somewhat melodramatic. Embarrassing, even. Who has time for nihilism when it's such a beautiful day? You know what? Maybe I'll stay after all. Really? Yeah. Now that I've had some time to think about it, is Lord English really that big of a deal? I mean, I know Rose said it was a big deal, that canon would dissipate if I didn't go do it, whatever that means. Isn't it just as likely that I could mess up a whole bunch of stuff if I go back there? The idea of going back in time, or back into canon or whatever, and fighting this huge battle that serves some vague purpose I'm not even sure I understand. It feels so heavy? And I'm not feeling that heavy suddenly. I feel kind of the opposite, actually. I mean, like, maybe I just don't give a shit. I don't mean in a bad way. It's just well, I'm already here, living my life with my friends, and I think I just want to stay back on Earth, forget I ever heard of Lord English, and just relax. Is that selfish of me? I don't know. Just seems like a lot of responsibility for one person. So maybe instead of taking the fate of everyone's existence into my own hands, I should just stay here and try to enjoy life. Even John has to admit, his rationale doesn't sound particularly satisfying. Now that he's reflecting on everything he just said, it really strikes him as a bunch of empty-headed babble. But then again, it's like he was saying, his head does feel lighter. Maybe he doesn't care if his reasoning sucks. Maybe he just doesn't care about any of the high stakes or existential gravity related to his conversation with Rose. Maybe he doesn't care about much of anything except the here and now, the company of his friends, and the pleasant breeze flowing through the park today. He's feeling quite insubstantial when he thinks about it. Superficial, and a bit sappy towards his friends. So what if he wants to make an insubstantial, superficial, and sappy decision? Yeah, like, you know, the way that he lays it out, it's like, that's, you know, the stress of just, like, having all this existential weight on your every move is, like, a lot. Just unfortunate how things will unfold. I know. And you can already, all these descriptions of things feeling superficial and sappy and insubstantial, like, shit is already going down the fucking hill. You can just feel, they do a really good job of conveying the feeling. Not dying off in a fight with a 4chan teen is kind of the better option. 4chan teen. Oof. Well, 4chan teen is a pretty decent description of Caliborn. Yeah, it's just that, you know, things, you know, within their group, within their relationships, and their personal lives, and their public lives, and the general state of society, takes a very sharp nosedive into bad. Mostly John Payne hours. I know, give this poor boy a fucking rest. Homestuck is mostly John Payne hours. I mean, yeah, John also goes through, like, a lot of stuff. I have been meaning to try, like read-throughs, but only with specific characters, because I do have an application that was recommended to me by an Israeli guy. That is this little gear icon, the Homestuck POV cam, where it adds little links underneath all the pages for you to click through following only specific characters. Because I feel like that would just generally be helpful and create a lot more clarity as to what the timelines are for a lot of characters. Homestuck is how everything hurts, but especially growing up. Yes. It's hard being a kid and growing up. It's hard and nobody understands. Put yourself in John's place too much. Yeah. Yeah, the epilogues are, first time through especially, but, you know, just, I think in general, a hard fucking read. They're rough as hell. Are you absolutely sure about this, John? He looks up at the trees, at the sunlight glittering through the crisscrossing fronds. Has the sky always been that blue? A leaf spirals down lazily and lands on his forehead. He plucks it off and studies the veins running through it. At each fork in the veins, he supposes the leaf as a whole is making a certain kind of decision to go this way or that. It certainly seems like one way of looking at a leaf, now that he bothers to really scrutinize one. It also seems to him, with just as great a sense of clarity, that not one of the leaf's decisions ever mattered even in the tiniest fucking bit to anybody. Not to the tree, not to the world, not even to the leaf itself. He flicks the delicate green metaphor away with a flourish of disdain and sudden conviction. Existential crisis after finishing candy and starting meat. Yeah. Everything you wanted happened, but not as good as you hoped it would be. Oh, and then you couldn't finish it for... Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different arguments out there as to what the epilogues are supposed to be and kind of the point that is supposed to be being made. The only one that I am not willing to entertain in any way whatsoever is that they were written maliciously with intent to hurt the fandom. I'm not even... No, that's flat up not true, and I'm not going to entertain the thought. But, one of the things, I mean, this is, I think it was Aisha, I was talking about this on Twitter, saying, it's about how sometimes this happens. Sometimes your childhood best friend grows up and ends up being a fascist, and you're like, well, fuck. Where'd they go? And sometimes you get the picture perfect future, and then it's this. Good continuation and nothing came out of nowhere. Yeah, there's definitely some underlying basis to all of the changes that happen. I mean, it's Callie, I believe it's Callie says this, way later in Candy, that each of the possibilities laying out before us are all traits that are lying dormant in these characters, and it's kind of the same good work of literature as a bridge between Homestuck 1 and Homestuck 2. Yeah, I mean, with Dirk at the end there, who the fuck knows? We might be getting Homestuck 2 set in the fucking Dirk's fucking universe. God. What was I talking about before? Jesus Christ. Wow, it's gone. It's gone. They don't work as an actual epilogue. Yeah, I don't fucking remember what I was talking about before. It's just the train of thought just like left the station the moment I started looking at other things. Yeah, they're not an epilogue at all, which of course is probably part of the backlash. Yeah, like there's definitely part of the backlash is that he was calling them the epilogues, and then everybody was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is not, I mean, obviously Hussey would never do anything in a fucking conventional sense, but, which is why, of course, there was that interview with the Washington Post where someone was like, epilogues? And he was like, what do words actually mean? Rather than answering any question about the epilogues. He's just kind of like, what do words actually mean? Will it really be an epilogue? Is it going to be a sequel? And everybody was like, what the fuck is any of this supposed to mean? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. People who believe that the epilogues were written to spite fans and actively antagonize the authors are childish and narrow-minded. And it's just, yeah, like, it was not written to purposefully, you know, if people, like, I'm not saying everybody has to love them. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I kind of have issues with as well, which we've been talking about as we move through them. I have more issues within Candy than I do within Meat, so there's going to be just a lot of talking happening, which is, you know, the whole point here. We're talking, we're chatting. But, yeah, at what point you realized, oh, this isn't the end, is it? Now we know what the fuck that means. Yeah, I mean, I think it was V who said on Twitter that there wouldn't be anything more adding on to Homestuck proper, and quite frankly, I don't want there to be. Like, the epilogues were a pretty big monkey's paw, and, like, that's, I don't want anymore. You know what? This, you know, part of the tone of this was, writing it like a fanfic, framing it in that way. It's kind of like an invitation to fan authors, like, look what the fuck we did and called it official content, okay? Go out there, take these characters, take this story, run fucking wild. This story belongs to you now. Just go nuts. So, you know, passing the torch on to fan artists. So, well, my attention span is, like, really bad today. I am forgetting the point that I was getting at before. But, yeah, I mean, basically, I don't want any more. Like, I was already kind of, like, there were definitely some parts that I kind of wanted answers to in Homestuck, but even the parts that everybody was like, what happened with these characters? Where do they go? Blah, 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 blah. Or, you know, other things. But I just, like, I was kind of okay with just letting those lie. I was kind of chill with that. They just want everything to turn out exactly the way they want it, and their headcanon should fall into place because the world revolves around them. I mean, yeah. Is in a similar way to the people who signed the petition to rewrite the entire fucking 8th season of Game of Thrones. Like, just because it didn't end the way that they wanted it to. Like, they kind of, you know, nothing is going to satisfy everyone. But yeah, John has made his decision, and that is where we are. We haven't even got the juice. I know. I'm hopping in. It's my attention span today, for some reason, is like nil. So, yeah, I may occasionally need the reminder to actually read the comic. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I don't think I've ever been so sure of anything in my... Actually, I don't think I've ever been so sure of anything in my life. What the fuck is the cadence of that sentence? You know what? Just today... Oh, fuck off! You know what? Okay, I know it was really bad on Tuesday, too. And I know that it's just generally, like... It's not there. Isn't this just a attention span? Non-existent, okay? Just work with me here. Okay. I'm just not even gonna bother trying to repeat that sentence for the sake of actually moving forward, even though I know that I said it in a really weird way. Would Dave have known the choreography to High School Musical? Yes. Like, I think that it would be one of those things that he would engage in ironically that would become unironic as the older he got. Yeah, like, he was a kid of the 2000s. Like, High School Musical was the fucking shit. Now I kind of want to rewatch High School Musical. I haven't seen those movies in many years. Okay. Comic. It's not a fucking comic anymore. Whatever. Semantics. Reading. Roxy's stoic countenance washes away abruptly, and she lets out a happy squeal? No, that's kind of a sexist way to describe it. It's definitely a girly noise, though, and not what John was expecting. Without warning, she launches herself into his arms. I honestly didn't think that squeal was a sexist description. I just think calling it a girly noise would actually be the sexist descriptor in this equation. OMG, John, that's amazing! I'm so stoked. She buries her nose in the crook of his neck and starts crying. Huh? She's definitely sniffling a little, and his skin feels wet against... My tongue is not moving. Why are you suppressing Homestuck from the public? Because my brain doesn't fucking work, okay? High School Musical movie night. Oh, there's stream lag. I thought you were getting mad at me for not just reading the fucking comic already. She buries her nose in the crook of his neck and starts crying. Huh? She's definitely sniffling a little, and his skin feels wet against hers. John makes incidental eye contact with Calliope when he raises his arms to wrap them around Roxy's back. He's startled for a moment, but Callie's just looking at him with that big, serene smile on her skull. Okay, this isn't weird or anything. This is super intimate physical This isn't weird or anything, this super intimate physical interaction he's having with her maybe girlfriend right in front of her. It's just that Roxy's been so distant for years, and now John has no idea where the boundaries are drawn. He grins and hugs her back just as hard as she's hugging him. Maybe his friendships aren't as damaged as he'd worried. Maybe it's like his friends were actually his family this whole time, and they were just waiting for him to pick up the phone or to come along and hug them. Roxy pulls back and claps excitedly. This is going to be so effing awesome! Yes, I think that you have made an excellent choice, John. I can already feel the aura of equivocation that's been hanging over us all these years fading. Equivocation? Oh, sorry. What I mean is that I think we've all had a hard time moving on from what we experienced in our old universe. Now we can finally put that ugliness behind us. Oh, John, this is amazing. I have such big plans for you. Plans? Stop asking so many questions, dummy. It's gonna be great. It will be more than great. But first there is one last thing you must do with your retcon powers. Someone that you need to help. Someone that only you can help. Oh god, here it fucking comes. I know, Calliope. Poor sweet Callie. Calliope leans in close. The angle of the sun makes it so that she dips into a shadow. The sharp recesses of her skeletal face turn those shadows black. For a moment, her voice sounds the way wind does when it howls through a narrow chasm. You must free the bard from his prison. Did he hear her right? He can't imagine she could possibly mean Gamzee. There it is. Calliope puts her hands together and pulls back, smiling sweetly. Her voice is sugar sweet again. Let poor Gamzee out of the fridge, John. The time has come. Poor Gamzee? He's surely learned his lesson by now. If we are to turn over a new page in this story, we should turn that page for everyone. Gamzee must be seeking redemption immediately. He has suffered enough. Has he, though? Oh my, yes, absolutely. Are you sure? Of course. I know! Why do we have to free the bard? Like, can you imagine how Candy would have gone without Gamzee? Like, I suppose, in the grander scheme of things, he was just uncomfortable to have around. But just picture it. How events would have changed if he just wasn't there. I mean, Vriska murdering Gamzee basically with her bare hands was satisfying. However, I will take the trade-off of losing that moment if it means just no fucking Gamzee at all. He's never suffered enough. Exactly. John glances at Roxy, seeking support. She smiles at him benignly, apparently having no opinions whatsoever on this topic. And there's the beginning of Roxy's complete neutrality on the subject of everything, which was it's so painful and worrying to read. Like, Roxy, who was so opinionated about playing the game that she fucking blew up Jane's computer. Like, no. This stream supports Gamzee oppression. Yes, it fucking does. There is absolutely no good reason to bring him back. Especially, okay, I'll get into this when we actually get to it, but he created another Doom timeline from because of grabbing Gamzee when he did. Sure, okay. He can't help but make a disgusted face at the thought of it, but he shrugs. Why the hell not? He's feeling lighter, remember? If it's time to let go of his long-held worries and hang-ups, then so too it may be time to let loose a long-suffering clown. If this is to be the age of redemption, then let it begin, he decides. Not with a bang, but with a honk. The prose is so good, but like everything about this makes me hurt. 2. John zaps back to the quietest point in the fridge's impressively storied timeline that he can pinpoint, which is on the land of Tombs and Krypton, T-minus about half an hour before the final battle against every dude they all had to fight to get the hell out of Dodge. As the name of the land would imply, the planet's surface is covered in tombs, each an ancient skyscraper piercing the brilliant, gaseous thunderclouds above. But there's only one tomb he's come for. A simple household refrigerator, just like the one he grew up with. So by picking this point in time, he's created another fucking doomed timeline, because We see Gamzee bouncing around inside the fridge in the middle of the fighting during Collide. Breath powers are wasted on the breath band. It's an interesting take. I don't know enough about class spec theory to engage in this conversation. But yes, I would be interested to hear what your reasoning for that is, Aleph. He pops into cannon at one end of a rooftop, up so high that the chemical storm coursing through the atmosphere sets his hair on edge. At the other end of the roof are Dirk and Dave, doing something he never thought he'd see. They're hugging. Not just regular non-committal hugging. They are emphatically hugging the shit out of each other. So we have, like, the precise point of John's intervention here, which is right at the end of Dirk and Dave's conversation before the final battle. Dave's face is buried in Dirk's side, and Dirk's got both arms around him in a way that looks like he's never actually hugged another human being before. He hasn't... No, wait. No, I suppose by this point in the story that would not be true. There was a certain point at which Dirk would have never hugged another human being before, but that has flown the coop at this point. Words? That made sense, right? Sensing that this is probably something he shouldn't be seeing, he tiptoes towards Gamzee's would-be sarcophagus as carefully and quietly as he can, and places his hands just above the thick aluminum hull. The moment John's palms hit the fridge, Dirk turns to look at him. His head only moves an inch. Slowly, he lowers one eyebrow and returns to his poignant and deeply personal business with Dave, as if he hasn't observed anything worth acknowledging at all. Which John supposes is for the best. He isn't trying to mess up the timeline any more than he needs to. He's only here to steal a refrigerator that has recently been used to entomb a clown. He has enough on his plate with this idiotic heist as it is. Anyway, I mean, like, he doesn't want to mess up the timeline any more than he needs to, but, like, he's already creating a doomed timeline by picking this point in time to come get the fridge. Anyway. Breathbound or Hinlows, okay. Oh, you're playing Smash, nice. John is the most powerful kid in Homestuck, bar Ultimate Tick, nice. Could use it to be super destructive, but he doesn't. Rose implications, Jesus. I mean, like, that's subjective. Attraction is subjective. Oh, I do admire his mohawk. It is very fucking nice. Likes Pokemon. All the necessary ticks for a hot man. Anyway, he decides to mind his own damn business and get this fridge back to Earthsea. He zaps himself and the fridge back to the same picnic grounds he departed from, while cleverly leaving the chains wrapping the fridge behind on low tack. So, I'm back. Everyone get ready for this fucking guy, I guess. That's just about it with Gamzee. Everyone get ready for this fucking guy. God. I've never felt a particularly strong connection to John, but in this moment I love him so dearly. With the same delicacy that he'd use to touch a toilet bowl in a public bathroom, he grabs the handle of the fridge and pulls. Gamzee pops out immediately, sweating, gasping for breath, and smelling like socks that have been continuously worn for 2 weeks straight. John rears back and pinches his nose shut. Calliope shoots John a sharp look, like a stern teacher would. I feel like if I try and copy any of these noises, I will put myself into a real actual coughing fit, because as much as I'm well enough to stream, I still do have like a little bit of a tickle in my throat from that cold. So like, I'm gonna take it easy on the sound effects today, although I am also gonna take this opportunity to have a drink of water. Walking back to the Homestuck photo shoot with your friend cosplaying Gamzee with a Faygo pie. Jesus fucking Christ. Gamzee beats Monty. You know, I mean, technically speaking, we don't know whether or not anybody bathes at any point during the entire comic or epilogues. So you see that as if he ever bathed. He's just, but yeah, Gamzee in particular is, God, the descriptions of the way that he smells are so fucking visceral and disgusting. Ugh. Ah, poor thing. It's alright now, you're alright. Take a moment to catch your breath, Mr. Clown. You'll be just fine. Continual coughing, hacking, and wheezing turning into sobbing. Oh dear. What is it, sir? Tell us what pains you. Let it all out, friend. We are here for you. Oh God, and now he's talking. Okay. I feel like, yeah. Okay. Oh, I haven't had to read Gamzee lines in such a long time. I never even really solidified a good Gamzee voice, because it's like, how the fuck do you read Gamzee? He's Gamzee. Okay. I've been a bitch-ass naughty motherfucker. Calliope nods knowingly and pats him on the back. I up and done some motherfuckers raw. Those motherfuckers, most of all, who I called my friends. I put the straight-up fucking harshness at them, and it wasn't motherfucking nice of me. Not one bit. Now I'm all at an emotional place from sweating my hard time in the hunger trunk, a fate to which I surely got my deserve for. And it gave me all the time to rethink my lot and get considering to what a right pile of the nastiest garbage I've been my whole motherfucking life. And I got my epiphany going in there. Like all motherfucking bathed in the righteous epiphanies, yo. Pretty much balls out, immersed in the emotion breakthroughs, my good ninjas. And I came to getting some of my realizations downright fucking locked. Locked tighter than I was like a bitch in that fridge. And those rationalizations being some realizations being something all motherfucking thusly of sorts. I'm a bad, bad man. And I'm here to fucking redeem my motherfucking self. Honk. Oh my God. I look down at chat. The first thing I see is die. Wash my fucking mouth out with soap after the stream. God. Fucking Gamzee. And it's not even done. Look at this entire fucking page of drivel. God. Oh, okay. Calliope, eyes closed, continues with her sympathetic gestures. She pats him on the back, nods very slowly, and issues an now and then. Only while he is distracted by his own sobs does she steal a glance at her phone, tipping the fact that she too wouldn't mind if this redemptive soliloquy could hurry itself along. Yeah, fuck Gamzee. Fuck Gamzee. These redemptive fucking Eureka thunderclaps all banging at my think pan, getting me to be all like, boo-hoo, I'm bad. What I'm saying about is the raw shit I did got some explanations to make you see the truth. The truth that my gnarliness had a motherfucking tent full of root causes you gotta indulge me at. Listen up, boys and hoes, cause here comes a bunch of noise that's morally fucking mitigating as shit. Honk. Oh, Jesus. Shh. Yeah, he... I don't even know where to start with Gamzee. Like, there's just a lot happening here. And then he goes on, he's like, I'm fucked up because Goat Dad abandoned me. I had no one to take care of me. And it's like, that's true, but you didn't have to murder people. You know, one of those, just one of those, cool motive, still murder kind of situations. Yeah, and the whole, like, serving Lord English thing, that's kinda, that's bad. That's, not great. I've been all, like, abusing stuff, homies. As a child, I got motherfucking neglected on by the stern old fatherly goat. I was a disappointment on him, and I can't say I blame him for abandoning the shit out of his useless kid. I would have motherfucking done the same shit at me if I was a big cruel goat. So that explains, like, pretty sure most of my crimes in a way that makes a motherfucker want to take his forgiveness out for a fucking spin. There's other reasons to consider, like, shit that makes this redemption arc fucking tight like an uncracked elixir. Like, how's my purple blood meant I got the culture pressures put on me to be a salty damn jester for life. I mean, he embraced that part pretty readily. What about the hand the Messiah's dealt me, my bitches? Motherfuckers gotta envy that like a wicked cod rash. What? Hold up. What? That didn't make sense. I mean, nothing he says ever makes sense. But... like, you know what? He was neglected by his guardian. But that's not a reason. That's not a good reason to just be like, well, no, you have to forgive me for serving the fucking Dark Lord and like fucking murdering people. I know, the cod piece, God. Like, what the... A motherfucker's gonna envy that like a wicked cod rash. Is he saying that people wouldn't envy the hand the Messiah's dealt me? What specific part is he even referring to in that? Is he talking about the whole, like, they're me and also motherfucking me, like that part? Y'all, I gotta reread Homestuck, which we are doing after this. That is the stream after this, is going to be rereading Homestuck in its entirety. Homestuck reread stream 2. Yeah, but okay. Oh, I think I get it now. Just gonna keep going. Yeah, I mean, after Problem Sleuth, of course, but like that's like it's coming up. It's coming up. So how can I full and truly fucking get blamed on for when it comes to a little bit of subjugation I got culturally hornswoggled up to doing, and also tragically goat abused, which needs to make you shed a tear for this motherfucker, lest you want to be as atrocious as me. And such is why I'm grabbing hold of my repentance as firm and serious as I would a horse. Oh. Like, see, here's what I don't... Okay, so... Yikes. Anyway. Jesus. My redemption arc is truly the dankness. I mean it hard, and I'm going sincere at it like one sad and sorry bad boy motherfucker. From this day forward, I plan to get my pledge on to be a changed clown. Truly a new-ass motherfucker, thanks to my new friends. Bravo! Fuck yeah! Oh, God. I can't believe I got through all of that. While John's two friends are busy hugging it out with arguably the worst person he has ever met in his life, he tiptoes a few yards away from the group and slips his phone out of his pocket. There's only one person in the universe who can truly understand what John's going through right now. Oh, I love Tersey so much. Hey, Tersey, you around? What do you want? You wouldn't believe what's happening just behind me right now. I probably would. No, you won't. Check it out. John discreetly holds his phone over his shoulder and takes a Snapchat of Gamzee sobbing in Calliope's arms. Roxy is beside them, nodding along solemnly. Holy shit. I know, right? He's crying like a little wiggler. Go over and give him a kick in the codpiece for me. I can't. John, I'm asking you to do a simple favor for an old dear friend. Do not be difficult. I don't think that would go over well. Everybody's taking this all weirdly seriously. Apparently we're going to let him have a redemption arc? Yeah, it's... Well, what is there to even say? It's literally the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard, but what can you do? Shove him back in that fridge and throw it in the ocean is what? Pretty much. Why are you idiots even bothering with this fool again? Don't ask me. This is a Calliope thing. Oh, God. I guess she roped Roxy into it, so now I'm just going along with it, too. I don't even care, actually. I mean, he smells awful, but... Guess that's just what's happening now. The asshole clown is back. Life goes on. It didn't need to, though. Not for him, at least. Speaking of life, how's it going out there? Treating Caliborn with more genuine sympathy than Gamzee? Yeah, I suppose so, in the conversations we get between Caliborn and Hussey. Oh, fine. Pretty boring, flying around and stuff. You know how it is. The search continues. Any sign of her yet? You've been gone, like, a really long time, you know. I'm sure you see it that way. From my point of view, it's a little different. Anyway, no turning back now. Yeah, I know. Everybody misses you, though. Probably even... Ugh. Gamzee. Ugh! Well, that settles it. I must never return. Sorry, Egbert. I never should have told you about his shitty redemption arc. I blew it. Yep. Anyway, gotta go. Next time we speak, you owe me a report of exactly one punch in the clown dick. Bye, dork. Smiling, he pockets his phone and heads back to the Gamzee pity party. Gamzee is sobbing so performatively that many Carpathian civilians have stopped to watch. By the looks on their faces, not a single one of them has ever been exposed to such clown grief. Pulled away from Calliope's embrace, he's now addressing the gathering crowd about the importance of genuine repentance. Calliope comes to stand with John, her hands folded behind her and her back and her expression peaceful. "Thank you for this, John." You're welcome? Something feels different, but he can't put his finger on it. Something indeed. Oh god, this chapter. Okay. It's midnight, so we're going to take 5 and then move on to chapter 3. Okie dokie. Let's get this up. There we go. Yeah, John and Teresa's relationship, like, I'm really glad that reading some fanfics with background John Resi, like, primed me and, like, warmed me up to actually liking that ship, because at first, when they were, like, kind of introducing it as a possibility in canon, I really didn't like it. But it showed up in the background of a couple of other fics that I read, and I was like, okay, I can see this. This is okay. And then, yeah, their relationship in both fics is good. It's very good. I like it a lot. Okay. We return to Jane and Dirk after the break. Back in 5. Greetings, hello, and apologies for being a little bit late. Coming back. But, indeed, we are back. It is time to keep moving. Okay. Yikes, here we go. 3. Yes, something feels very different. Dirk's hands begin to shake so violently that he drops his screwdriver into the chassis of the battlebot he's working on. It clangs around for a bit, landing somewhere that will doubtlessly be very inconvenient to retrieve. It doesn't matter. There's no more time for rap battles or politics or wacky hijinks of an adventurous nature. There's no time left for anything. Moisture beating at his temples, Dirk staggers away from his workbench and braces himself against the wall. His knees are weak, head spinning, palms so sweaty that the concrete feels smooth underneath them. He nearly drops his phone while attempting to dramatically auto-dial Jane's number through the haze of his trembling, sudorific stupor. Hey, Jane. Bad news. Cancel everything. Mom's spaghetti. Fucking hell. Excuse me, what? All plans. Cancel them. It's over. What's over, Dirk? I just told you. Everything. Because we're canceling it. Dirk, are you quite okay? Yeah, I'm cool. You sound terrible. It's unlike you to call quits on a caper like this without offering a lengthy diatribe on it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. Lengthy diatribes are over too. They're cancelled. Jane gasped loudly without a hint of irony. I don't understand. Don't worry about it. Just do what I say. He hangs up on her and brings his contacts so that he can text Jake and cancel all their televised fights for the foreseeable forever. Then he blocks Jake's number, because if it's not worth explaining to Jane, it's definitely not worth explaining to Jake. Then again, nothing is ever really worth explaining to Jake. Jake's number is barely even worth storing in his phone, if Dirk is being perfectly honest. Stop dunking on Jake, motherfucker. He's not cool, oh no. Through the workshop window, Dirk can see the sun touching the horizon. Ah, exquisite. He takes a moment to appreciate the sublime synthesis of the atmosphere and the existential crisis he is currently experiencing. The sun is setting both physically and metaphorically right now. Not bad, he thinks, then corrects himself, because while there is always time to delight in the volatility of causality, the whole situation is actually, and for real, astonishingly bad. Whew, okay. Excuse me. I'm gonna have a little more water. Okay, I just zoned out for a little bit. That's not good. My sleep schedule has been all fucking over the place lately. So, that's a thing. And I'm gonna be walking around in the summer heat all day tomorrow. Woo! It's actually supposed to be kind of nice out tomorrow. Fingers crossed for good weather, because it's supposed to thunderstorm on Sunday afternoon, which is when the Pride Parade is. Toronto Pride Parade. Which is not good. However, like the weather, not the parade. Okay. Streamline. Webcomic. Thoughts in one place. Okay. Here's hoping we don't get rained on. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm only going down the one day tomorrow, because I just really don't think that I'll have the energy for 2 full days of walking around in the sun and heat. And I'm pretty sure it is not supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice. Like 21-ish, I think. But yeah, Sunday is, the parade starts at 2, and there's supposed to be thunder and lightning late in the afternoon. So, ooh, that's not good. Yeah, I hope it doesn't fuck shit up. 4. Rose's eyes flutter open to the sound of a heart monitor and the sight of a featureless white ceiling. Fluorescent lights, diaphanous curtains, everything crisp and clean. A hospital? Wait, this doesn't seem right, she thinks. When she closed her eyes, she was dramatically lingering about her bedroom at home. She'd just taken a handful of pills and said goodbye to... John! She shoots up in bed, tugging the IV tape under her elbow. Oh, that sounds hurts and uncomfortable. I hate IVs. Oh, that was a note actually that I saw from another place where they said that they kind of, they said they're like very thorough when they're content tagging, but how could you miss content tagging for needles and IVs? Like that can be a big fear for some people and a big trigger for people who've had negative medical experiences. Soft rosemary time. Oh, I love... Okay. Can't use a ref read, but soft rosemary is a blessing. Kanaya is sitting at her bedside table, hemming a sundress. She thins her lips and gives Rose a half-lidded look. John, I see. Is there something I should know? This sort of joke would have gone over better if it had not been made at this exact moment. With all the distance between them lately, Kanaya's jab lands like a rock plunging into a stagnant pond. Instinctively, Rose raises her hand to her forehead, but there's no pain there. Her head is the clearest it's been in months. Yeah, I mean, there's no, like, what happened moment. It's just, like, the first thing that she thinks of is John, and then the conversation just kind of gets sidelined. I guess she doesn't really have time to think Ooh, how the fuck did I get here? Kanaya, what? Oh, wait, she literally asks right now. Maybe I should just read it sometimes. Read the words in front of my face. How many fucking times did this happen during the Dream Daddy stream where I'm like babbling on and on about something and then I click and it's literally the next fucking line is exactly what I just said? Rose is no longer analyzing the progressing story as a seer and is just living her life. I mean, that is what it progresses to, yeah. But, yeah, see, I'm not the only one having that that moment today. Kanaya, what happened? Kanaya throws her sewing project aside and sweeps in close, wrapping a cool palm around Rose's arm. Her voice quakes, but retains most of its porcelain decorum. I came home and found you passed out in front of the load gaper. Your skin was freezing and you were barely breathing. Oh. The doctor said that your heart rate dropped below 30 beats per minute, which, as I understand it, is somewhat dire. I see. How are you feeling? Rose considers this for a very long time, eyes fixed on the window at the other end of the room. The night is dying behind the thin, pale curtain. She can barely see the moon. She looks back to Kanaya, eyes wide and bright. Kanaya, I feel fine. It's been such a long time since she's felt anywhere in the same ballpark as fine that it's almost an out-of-body experience to say the word. She feels giddy. No headaches? No headaches, no visions, nothing at all. Wait, is John okay? Where is he? Did he leave? Leave? Oh no, John's fine. He didn't go anywhere. Except, I suppose, to leave his house for once. Multiple days in a row, even. Okay, so it's been a few days at this point. So Rose has been down for the count for a few days after John making this decision. Rose shuts her eyes and takes a deep breath. For some reason, she's never felt so relieved in her life. She thinks about what she was about to send John off to do, and her feelings of grim urgency surrounding the matter. And yet, for the life of her, she can't bring herself to care about what it was she felt was so direly important about his decision. All that matters to her now is that he's safe, in good health, and spending time with those he cares about. And apparently, due to a perfectly inexplicable turn of events, so is she. The door to the room creaks open, and in slips a smiling Carpathian in black scrubs. Rose listens to Kanaya ask fretful questions about her condition. The nurse responds by tapping her clipboard in a musical rhythm. Rose opens her eyes. She stares at the knob of her wrist and frowns. She's not sure why this sensation should be concerning. It's not like her memory is slipping away. She remembers the conversation she had with John this morning quite clearly, as she does the previous years of declining health and troubled, obsessive thoughts about canon, dissipation, and other such abstractions. What's slipping away instead is the feeling that any of it mattered at all. Was she insane to be consumed by such lofty concern, and is she only beginning to experience clarity today for the first time in ages? When the nurse leaves, Kanaya puts a hand over the wrist that she's so preoccupied with. Is something wrong? It just seems like all of this is happening so quickly, even abruptly. I'm sorry, would you prefer for your consciousness to continue to disintegrate? I always thought that she tried. I mean, and that's how she wound up in the hospital. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but yeah, that is certainly a valid theory. Probably just the diffusal of her ultimate self transition. That not in some form a death. Yeah, that is true. This was an experience that was all-consuming for her over a period of years. For it to suddenly dissipate, that would be quite a shock to a system that was already in bad condition. Didn't say anything about anyone dying, yeah. But yeah. That is... Yeah, those could definitely be related. You can prove it. Jesus Christ. Okay, but yeah, definitely that would be a thing that would definitely put her down for the count for a few days, with the shock to the system of that just suddenly disappearing. Stop using it in the way you dislike and start misusing it in the way that you do. Don't be ridiculous, Kanaya. What I would prefer is to be here with you. Really here with you. For the first time in a long time. Kanaya tips her face away from the light to hide it in the curve of her shoulder. Rose reaches out and takes her wife's hand into her own. They're colder than she remembers. Her wife! Are you crying? Since when have I been known to cry? Quite often, actually, but usually because you're angry. Well, I'm not angry. It was hard on you, wasn't it? My illness, combined with all your duties to the mother grub, the pressure of the changing political situation... Combined with all your duties to the mother grub, the pressures of the changing political situation, with all that on your mind, it can't have been pleasant to have to come home and take care of me as well. I can see now that it was all terribly unfair to you. It was nobody's fault, Rose, so please don't take any undue responsibility onto your shoulders. Since when have I been known to do such a thing? Kanaya's lips twitch into a smile and she laughs sadly. Her laughter forces the tears out. They drip down her perfectly made-up face in thick trails. Yeah, I know. Just me sitting in the back. Every time I read her wife, I'm just like, her wife! I really did think I had lost you. It's not that I thought you would die. It was that you felt so far away. What you were going through was something that I could not possibly understand, no matter how patient I was or how deeply I loved you. There was a feeling I couldn't shake that something terrible was going to happen to us. Something that neither of us could stop. A powerful force that would take you away from me. And I couldn't stop myself from thinking that maybe that it would be for the best. Dirky motherfucker. Kanaya, I can now see that this is completely ridiculous. Kanaya laughs loudly, gaily this time, as if some terrible dark weight has been lifted from her shoulders. She lets out a thin, shaky breath afterwards. It's like the noise fills the room back up with oxygen. Rose hadn't realized that she'd held her breath at all. The shadow hanging over Kanaya's thoughts was hanging over hers as well. But now that she'd said it aloud, the darkness dissipates without ever materializing into its true shape. Rose uses the hem of her hospital gown to wipe the tears off of Kanaya's face. It really is. Honestly, Kanaya, I've never heard such a ridiculous thing in my life. You are talking to me as if I am a pupa again. I'm sorry. No, do not apologize. It has been a very long time since you've had the energy to use such a condescending tone of voice. And as you know, it's one of the things about you I find most adorable. I can imagine how adorable I've been, drifting around the house like a sweaty, drugged-up ghost. While you know how I feel about the careless imbibing of human intoxicants, you were still very adorable. Not to be trite, but there is nothing that could make you not beautiful to me. God, that's so fucking gay. What a relief, considering that we are both going to be young and magically fit literally forever. Kanaya presses a snotty, uncharacteristically imperfect kiss to the back of Rose's hand, right beneath where she wears her wedding ring. If you would have me forever. Who else? There is no one who understands me like you, Kanaya. No one who looks at me the way you do. No one who brings me back down to earth with ceaseless, brutal honesty like you. I have no idea what I'd do without you. You would probably do just fine. Yes, but I'd be very unhappy. They smile at each other as the first rays of the sunrise peek through the blinds. God, that's so fucking gay. God, I love them so much. God. Oh, that tweet from... I mean, the tweet from V is, like, tangentially related, but... Yeah, God. Just fucking... I love them so much. Oh my God, their whole relationship situation is another thing that makes me uncomfortable. And also, not just because of the situation that they're in, but just like, all of their representations of polyamory in the epilogues are like patently unhealthy relationships. And it's kind of like, well, you can put at least one good one in there. Like, why is Jade such a dick? I don't think Jade's being a dick. She's just... She is being a little bit pushy with her particular vision. But yeah, we can dive deep into Jade dynamics. Getting into this chapter, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that what she's doing is selfish, because it's not just like, I'm doing this for me because I want it. It's because she's looking at, like, the situation between Dave and Karkat, seeing what they're blatantly refusing to see, which is not an excuse for her, but, you know, seeing this and being like, well, this is the obvious answer, is that we should do this because these are the facts of the situation. It's not like I'm doing this for me because I want to and fuck everybody else's feelings. It's... Well, there's also a lot of denial going around on all sides. Looked at them, convinced herself that her way is the right way, and was forcing that on them. I mean, that's like a rough strokes, I guess, description of how that went down. But there's, yeah, a lot of complicating factors. I just don't think that's selfish necessarily, or insensitive is quite the right words for it. I don't know. Let's get into this, and then we can really dive into how exactly she executes in here. No, that is, yeah, it was not healthy at all. Okay. 5. Did you hear that John left his house? Multiple days in a row, even. No fucking way. That's incredible. I've never heard of such a thing. Someone leaving their house? Stop the fucking presses. Karkat. Is it a slow news day in the Consort Kingdom or something? Jade finishes pruning a dead bulb off her arum lily plant and flicks it at Karkat's forehead. Then she politely pulls the blinds shut, because God forbid even a sliver of sunlight ever infect Dave and Karkat's hive. Jade doesn't live here, technically, but there's domestic evidence of her all over the hive. Her plants, her base, her clothes slung over the couch where she sleeps for weeks at a time. I'm being serious, dumbass. I was really worried about him. I'm being serious too. I was actually beginning to wonder if John had died. But what the fuck were we supposed to do about it? It's not like he answers the phone. Well, if you care so much, then maybe don't respond with sarcasm when I tell you he's getting better. Guys, it's not a competition. We were all worried about John. Were we? When's the last time either of you tried to hang out with him? When's the last time either of us left the hive? Yeah, shut-ins living in glass hives shouldn't throw a... Actually, if we lived in a glass hive, way too much sunlight would come in for Karkat's brutal photosensitivity issues. So we'd probably cover all the walls with, like, lots of curtains and sheets of thick fabric. So I guess maybe we could throw stones? Like, kind of small ones, so that the fabric could easily absorb the momentum. Also, me and Karkat would probably be too lazy to throw the stones that hard anyway. So I think actually this scenario is pretty workable here. It provides for a certain threshold of allowable minimum hypocrisy. Dave, stop. Dave, this sucks. No, it doesn't. I'm giving thoughtful and critical considerations to a cliche which is long past due. A glass house with wall-to-wall curtains creates what I'm going to theorize as an incredibly important self-owning buffer. This is a huge breakthrough, and also it's fucking science. You of all people should appreciate the work being done here. God. Oh my god. I never thought I'd be thinking of you as my weird nerd friend by the time we were in our 20s. Yeah, well, I never thought you'd be like the premier woo girl on the planet. What are you even doing here with us? Don't you usually spend your weekends at 48-hour interspecies raves or doing Arctic expeditions with Jake or whatever? Those two things are not always mutually exclusive. Ugh. Jade floats over to the couch, shooting her two besties a salacious smile. She taps Karkat on the nose as she passes by. I'm just enjoying my youth. You could be enjoying it too. She retrieves one of her bras from where it's hanging over the back of the couch. She starts changing it right there, doing that mystical sleight of hand girls seem... Oh yeah. This y'all. I thought this was like... I don't know. Where's my brain going with this? I guess it's just, this was supposedly sensitivity read for transphobia, but it is again with the implication that anybody with boobs must be girl. And I'm just sitting here like, not these titties. Yeah. Fucking dying laughing. Dave is fucking legendary. Just, yeah. When you can find like a fic that where the author is like really good at writing Dave rants, it's just, It's like finding fucking diamonds. Yeah, odd precisely. Not these titties. Mm-mm. Yeah, the way that Jade is written is like, I don't know. There's a little bit of an off feeling to a lot of the characters in Candy in particular. Like a lot of folks are kind of like, like it's somewhat on purpose because of the nature of Candy, where things start getting warped. But it's still don't like that. Basically, long and short of it is, don't like that. Yeah, it's weird. She retrieves one of her bras from where it's hanging over the back of the couch. She starts changing it right there, doing that mystical sleight of hand girls seem to be born with the knowledge of, where the bra goes off and then on again without the shirt being removed. Jade doesn't exactly have the best understanding of interpersonal boundaries, having been raised mostly by a dog, but still. It's a weird, intimate, and uncomfortably close to sexual thing to be doing in front of other people. Dave and Karkat share a vaguely mortified look. Jade sort of lives here, but she doesn't that sort of live here. But seriously, what do you two even do hold up in here together all the time? Karkat snorts, still pointedly not looking at her. Oh, I'm sorry, have you not seen Dave's ill-begotten art empire? He's got his opposable digits stuck in so many double-stacked husk cloves that even I don't know all his pen names. Welcome, Sneak Cat. Hello. Bored a piece of the water? Okay, cool. Cool. That sure happened. Wow. Okay, so that's what Dave does. What do you do? Jade puts her feet on the floor and pads over so she can sling her arm over the back of the couch and lay her cheek on the cushion. The look she gives Karkat is just shy of devious. Karkat defensively scuttles to the other end of the couch, where he ends up pressed flush against Dave's entire left side. Sit around and play video games all day? Hey, that's not the only thing I do. I've done laundry. Once or twice. Also, what humans refer to as groceries. I do the groceries. That's not a fucking figure of speech, man. You don't do the groceries, you go out and buy them. Even then, you don't actually do that. Dave puts both hands over Karkat's mouth and they stage whisper over his shoulder. He means that he uses the alchemizer in the basement sometimes. Whose side are you on? Oh, and when he's in a bad mood, he'll go yell at trolls on the internet. Not like trolls as in the troll species, I mean. Literal trolls who talk shit online. I don't know, a bunch of them could be actual trolls, I guess, but not strictly. Dave, don't fucking tell her about that. Oh, you almost died too. Karkat Minecraft Empire. Oh, God. Chunks flowed when I gave the word. Jesus fucking Christ. Dave reaches around Karkat's face to give him a gentle poke on the cheek. He keeps his finger there longer than strictly necessary, smiling the noticeably restrained smile characteristic of Striders. His expression is so warm and blatant that it can't help but draw Jade's attention. She frowns and pushes her glasses up the bridge of her nose, making some quick calculations in her head. They're so obvious, she thinks, and yet here they are. Virginal losers who are performative about sitting exactly a foot apart whenever they're in public. There's a certain use of things like this that, terms that strongly correlate with the incel movement. peppered through the epilogue and like the narrative, and it makes me big yikes. I've brought this up before, but I just want to say it one more time. Yelling online addiction. Yeah, Karkat, I mean, that is something that people pictured him doing. That was kind of a headcanon thing in fandom for a while, I think, right? It was Karkat being like that guy who reads the comments and then angrily responds to everyone if someone tries to criticize him on the internet. I mean, in this case, he's doing it on Dave's works, but point still stands. It's so pathetic, it makes her want to howl at the moon in sorrow. What she's planning isn't a seduction. It's a public service. That's not a great way to think about it. Why not, dude? I think it's cute. He's on all the major political sites, of course, but he spends most of his time going after people who leave abusive comments on my Sweepo and Hella Jeff posts. Like, he's got a whole complex network of burner accounts and sock puppets on my homepage set up for every possible scenario. Jesus Christ. It's incredible. He's driven at least 10 people off the site by creating thinly veiled parody accounts of their usernames. Stop talking about this! My exploits are heroic. Go absolutely fuck yourself. Karkat Shoosh, I'm so proud of you. Couldn't have done better myself. Well, I mean, I definitely could have, but I have better things to do with my time. Thank you, Dave. That was heartwarming and not even a little bit embarrassing. Consider my honor undeniably defended. Actually, Karkat, it's more like you're the one defending his honor. That's so cute. White knighting for another night. Dave, it's like Karkat's your adorable little house husband. What the fuck is a husband? Jade. Dave unpokes his finger from Karkat's cheek and tries to shimmy some space between them on the couch, but there's nowhere to go. Karkat is sandwiched between him and Jade, who is reaching out to put 2 fingers of her own at the center of his chest. She bounces them there a few times, enjoying the way troll skin is just a bit thicker than human skin, taut like a membrane over a poorly maintained drum. A husband? She begins walking her fingers up the length of Karkat's sternum. Karkat knows damn well what a husband is. He's been force-fed enough bad movies from Dave to pick up any human euphemism you could name. He still plays dumb sometimes, for comedic effect, to irritate his friends, or simply to avoid a topic of conversation altogether. If he'd known it would only fan the flames of discussion in this case, he would have kept his mouth shut. You need to kill Jade, sorry. Yeah, Jade in this scene is not fantastic. Your cat's cute, Jenna? That's fair, yeah. I'll hand you the knife. Jesus. Cat, yeah, just bring your cat with you. Why not? Yeah. My dog used to, like, whenever I would start packing, she would come. I kind of, like, lay out all my clothes on the floor before I put them in the bag. And she would come in and, like, lay on top of all of the clothing that I had put on the floor because I guess it was comfortable. We had, like, when I was, like, especially young, like, in, like, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, and I would have, sleepovers with friends or with family, and we'd have, like, the foam mattresses and, like, the sleeping bags out. My dog would always come into my room and lay down right in the middle of all of them. She was a good puppy. She's a good girl. A good doggy. Okay, and now back to this train wreck. A husband is a little like what you both do already, only with certain benefits. Her fingers reach the hollow of Karkat's throat just in time to catch him swallow. He starts to sweat. What kind of benefits? Don't play dumb, Karkat. Jade, dude, come on. Leave him alone. Jade does not come on. She slides her fingers up under Karkat's chin so that they can rest on his lips, which are a little chapped. It doesn't take much work to pop them open and slide both fingers in. See, that's a big yikes. Karkat is very clearly not really consenting to having fingers shoved in his mouth. Yeah, and Jade absolutely fucking deserves what's coming. If you're really that clueless, I can show you. Karkat looks like an animal with his leg caught in a trap. Eyes flickering, breath getting shallow, his bottom lip is trembling where Jade is stroking it with her thumb. It would be pretty easy to mistake his reaction for arousal, so it's understandable that Jade is extremely surprised when Karkat snaps his jaw shut and chomps down on her hand. Ow! You deserve that. She fucking deserved that. She flies back, literally, spiraling towards the ceiling so fast that her skirt puffs up and she gets all tangled in her clothes for a few seconds. She clutches her wounded hand and glares daggers at Karkat, ears flat under her long, dark hair. Karkat, what the hell? What the hell? You're seriously asking me what the hell? Jade, you were trying to choke me to death with your weird, soft human fingers. What were you trying to do? Reach into my chest and pull out my fucking pump biscuit for a midday snack? Is this because you're half bark beast now? No! I was flirting you? There's a word missing there. I was flirting with you, dummy. Oh my god, you two really are hopeless. Why do I even waste my time? That's a good fucking question. Gee, that's mean. Stop. Oh, according to Headcanon that Caliborn wrote me, Jade was the one who enthusiastically offered to be the vessel for Caliborn's weird plot progression. Yeah, that is possible. I don't know necessarily if I feel like Jade would offer herself up for that, just because she's living the life and wants to continue living that life rather than being controlled by Calliope. But it is possible that she valiantly moved herself forward. This is why tops don't have rights. Jade is pissed, but not enough to leave. Instead, she plops down on the opposite end of the couch and petulantly crosses her arms. Karkat peels himself off Dave and slumps into the dip between cushions while settling even more deeply into one of his better practiced pouts. Dave clears his throat. So, apropos of nothing, just a cool segue into a completely different topic for no reason. Jade and Karkat both stare at him. He makes a casual motion with his hand, a smooth wrist swivel like he's at a turntable scratching one song into the next. That's the effect he's going for, at least. Did you guys hear that Jane was gonna run for high office? No fucking way. Oh, wow. You mean, yep, the fucking presidency of Earthsea. I mean, she's been positioning her megacorp and stocks in a way that looks super suspicious the last year or so I'd wondered about it, but I didn't think she'd actually do it. Nah, she was totally gonna pull the trigger on it after all these years, but decided against it at the last minute for some reason. Oh. Excuse me, just had to suddenly yawn. Actually, while we're paused, I'm gonna take a drink. Thank fucking God. That would have been a complete disaster. I know, right? That's what I said when Roxy told me. Especially for the economy. Really? The economy? That's what you think is bad about it? Oh yeah, and the troll thing is bad too, I guess. Okay, so let me get this straight. Your priorities are, number 1, the economy, which, let me remind you, is built entirely on infinite fake money so that we can make as much of as we want. Number 2, the potential genocide of my people. Okay, wow. Let's, slow our roll here. Let's slow any roll that makes me seem more xenophobic than I am, okay? Whatever you say, Dave not xenophobic Strider. That's good. Let's keep using the phrase not xenophobic in sentences that contain my name. Sure, man. That doesn't sound like something a xenophobe shithead would say at all. Look, I'm not the bad guy here. Jane is. Or was. Until she decided to not run for president. Let's all just think whichever Christ was responsible for making whatever decision resulted in her deciding not to do that. What? Don't change the subject, xenophobe. No, look, I'll be the first to say that Jane is xenophobic as fuck. I'm not, at all, but she is. Okay, dude. But I don't think she'd go so far as to commit genocide. That's really exaggerating her faults. We'd have to get pretty far away from the people we were when we started all this for that to be a viable outcome. Well, what do you darn tootin' know? Isn't that just exactly what fucking happens? Well, I hope she gets a better hobby. There are a lot of less ominous things she could do with her time. What, like fucking her way through half the population of Earthsea? Jade pinches his ear and twists hard, smiling pleasantly. Get fucked, Carcat. As much as Jade was... I was screaming at her this entire chapter, Carcat totally fucking deserved that. Okay. Well, we're in, this chapter. We're in for another long one, and it is 3 minutes to 1. So I'm going to say this is where we call it for today. Yeah, at least that part was really good. I know, this whole mess. Yeah, alright, so, stream schedule. So this weekend is a Friday-Sunday weekend, because I'm out doing Pridey things tomorrow, so I'm not 100% sure when I'm getting home. I just know that I'm gonna be fucking tired. So, and also I will have spent the entire day talking my goddamn face off. So my voice will be in no condition to stream. I know, I'm gonna miss that too. Does fucking anybody know whether or not the panels are going up on YouTube after? Because, I've seen multiple people ask, but nobody get an answer. And I know there's a couple of people who I'm subscribed to on YouTube, and some of them have scheduled a live stream. Others have scheduled video premieres for their panel times. So the premieres, the ones that are set as a premiere will definitely stay up on YouTube afterwards. The ones that are scheduled as live streams is up to the person whether or not they save the live stream to be publicly viewed afterwards. And as for that, I have not even looked at the schedule because I know that I'm not going to be able to participate. So, I'm not going to torture myself by just looking at a bunch of things that I'm not going to be able to do. But I know for sure that I'm probably going to want to watch, literally every single panel. Optimistic Duelist? Yes, Optimistic Duelist is doing something. I know, Shadok, the animator, is doing something. Oh my god, I don't remember their username. The person who's doing who did the Theater of Cruelty, and who is now doing a Barbie version of fucking the Detective Pony fic. Is like that person's doing a panel. Oh my god, I do not remember usernames. There's one person who's doing Polygon Unraveled, like Ryan David Gilbert style, trying to figure out who's objectively the best character in Homestuck. What other ones do I know? I'm trying to remember all the ones that showed up on my fucking YouTube subscriptions. Oh, yeah, I will play that for end of stream. Yeah. What is scheduled? Yeah, Behind the Curtain Theater of Cool Tea. Oh, Naked Bee, that's the username. Oh yeah, the opening ceremonies, because I subscribe to their YouTube channel. And then Shadok. Yeah. Oh, duh, fucking... Oh my god, what the fuck is her name? I know it's... the first name is Sarah. Let's Talk About Stuff, who did the video on the politics of the McElroy brothers. She's doing a panel on Homestuck and meta-modernism. So, yeah, I'm so fucking excited for literally everything that's happening, but I'm not gonna be fucking home, so people damn well better upload their shit to YouTube. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you. Okay. Anyways. Wonder what their process is, because there's quite a few that can be considered the best character from Homestuck, but it's subjectively Miss Payne. Miss Payne instead of Miss Payne. Oh my god, that's a great typo. But like, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. So like, what are the what merits are they using to figure that out, right? What are their things? What traits are they calling the best? Because, I mean, if you're familiar with Brian David Gilbert's Unraveled videos, he's very scientific about it, even though it's a fucking ridiculous idea. Like, who the best cuddler in Mortal Kombat would be. He has very scientifically outlined what his exact... what the exact traits he's looking for are, and then talks about how they apply to, like, every character and stuff. So yeah. Influential, least death, most loved. I follow this person on Twitter, and I did see them, like, I think they were trying to calculate who has said the most words. So, like, that's a factor. But yeah, so... lots of things to be excited for. Lots of things to be excited for. With Stuck at Home Con, or SACon, which someone pointed out in a Discord server I'm in. It sounds like Suck On, which of course led to the inevitable Suck on D's nuts, among other jokes. But yeah, like, there's definitely, I'm really interested to see where that goes. But I'm sure there's more things that I could be interested in. I have not even allowed myself to look at the schedule. This is only things that I know because I'm, like, following the organizer on Twitter, subscribe to them on YouTube, some things of that sort. But yes, if you have the time, I would highly recommend checking out what's happening with SACon tomorrow. It looks like it's going to be a boatload of fun. Yeah. long and short of it, anyway, that was a whole rant. I'm no stream tomorrow. I'm going to be streaming on Sunday, and then we're going back to Dream Daddy on Tuesday. Not sure what to expect next to Dream Daddy. Last time it was like, okay, we're definitely going to be picking someone to message to go on a date. But this time, we have finished our first date, and it looks like we're going to be having a day or two of regular life, maybe a couple more parenting type scenes and situations. Which, I gotta say again, I so far am like pretty impressed with the way that they've decided to handle the dad, like the actual dadding aspect of the game. How they're presenting those situations, the choices that are having you make, the dialogue, the relationship. It's good shit. It's really good shit. But yeah, so that's all for tonight before I talk myself into another circle. Back on Sunday, same time, same place. I hope that you are all able to come and hang out. And thanks so much for hanging out with me on this fine evening. I hope you had a lovely time. Have a wonderful day, whatever you may be getting up to. Wonderful rest of your day. It's a good night from my end. It is late at night. I gotta be going to bed soon, or I am going to collapse tomorrow, which is not good. Need to get me some sleep. And yeah, we have a requested track from Seeming, Party to Say Goodbye. That will play us out.